Hello everyone, this is Madam Trisha and I am going to explain to you in this video your second module for English 10. So I decided to make a video so that if you have questions, you can replay and replay and replay this um, anytime. And then for those who cannot join online classes, so it's not a problem to you, for you anymore because you have this as your reference. So um, this is our second module for English 10. You have there the content standard. Just take time to read this, okay? The content standard, the performance standard, and our objectives. So this is all about. Okay, we are on lesson 2, reflexive and intensive pronouns. So objectives, use reflexive and intensive pronouns, differentiate intensive and reflexive pronouns. So um, first we have here the explore. So your activity 1, you have there a picture of a mirror. Okay, so that is just a reference. So you have here two questions for the explore. So first question, first question is a riddle. So you read this riddle and then you put your answer here in the box, inside this box. Um, and then in number 2, this is somewhat like a reflection for you. So when you stand in front of the mirror, what do you often ask yourself? So you write it here. So this one, it's a longer box because it requires you to write sentences. In here, um, it's a smaller box because it requires you to write word, a word, or a phrase. So it depends upon the answer of this riddle. So we only have one answer for that. So I think it's very obvious. So that's it. Okay, now let's move on to the firm up, which is our discussion for this module. So in here, we are going to talk about reflexive and intensive pronouns. So let's start with reflexive pronouns. So in summary to this definition that we have given you here, so reflexive pronouns are used to refer back to the subject. So that's why it's we are talking about here a mirror because in a mirror you are you can see your reflection there. So here thou, your reflexive pronoun is somewhat like your reflection when you look at the mirror because again a reflexive pronoun can be used as a direct object, indirect object, or object of a preposition in a sentence. Now, as you all know, direct object, indirect object, object of the prep reflects on the or relates to the subject in a sentence. So, reflexive pronouns here are stands as direct object and indirect object or indirect object or object of the preposition in a sentence. So therefore, reflexive pronoun, it reflects back to the subject. Kumbaga, pareha sila og pasabot sa subject. Okay, now here we have here a box giving you an example what are the reflexive pronouns. So singular, we have myself, himself, herself, itself. Now the counterpart of that for plural, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. So that's it. And here we have an example, a sentence. So the puppy saw itself in the mirror. Okay, the reflexive pronoun here is the word itself. And then see itself is the direct object in this sentence and the subject of the sentence is puppy or the puppy. So again, this is the subject and this is the object, direct object. Now, since reflexive pronoun man ato ang direct object, si itself, kinsa may gitukoy ni itself, kinsa may gi-refer ni itself dire. It is, kinsa man si itself dire, kinsa may pasabot ni itself. It is the subject. It is the puppy. Okay. So now, si itself, which is a reflexive pronoun, refers back or reflects to the subject puppy. So kumbaga they mirror each other. They reflect on each other. Okay. Okay. So that's it for reflexive pronoun. Again, remember reflexive pronoun, it refers back to the subject. Kung kinsa ni siya, kinsa ang gibuot pasabot ani, mao si subject. Now we have intensive pronoun. So, intensive pronoun is very strong, is intense, because intensive pronouns are used for emphasis. Okay? It emphasizes a preceding noun. When we say preceding, before. Okay? So, meaning, si intensive pronoun gi-emphasize ang noun nga before niya. For example, this sentence, the queen herself gave the knight the award. So, herself is the intensive pronoun. Intensive pronoun, gi-emphasize niya ang noun nga before niya, which is the queen. Si queen ang noun, ang preceding noun nga gi-emphasize ni intensive pronoun herself. Okay. So if we are going to translate this sentence in Bisaya, the queen herself gave the knight the award. Gitagaan ni queen, si queen mismo ang ninghatag og award kay knight. So, di ba, gi-emphasize ni herself nga si queen mismo ang gahatag. Dili iyahang mga staff, dili iyang mga servants, kundi si queen mismo ang nag-give sa award. Okay. So, going back here, it emphasizes a preceding noun which is often but not always the noun immediately, okay, before, which is often, but not always the noun before the pronoun. Okay, not always, because just like for this one, this example, see herself naabot diri sa last. Okay, herself now is the last word. So it's not always si intensive pronoun, dili siya always dili sila always tapad ni subject. Okay. Now, intensive pronouns look exactly the same as reflexive pronouns. So, si intensive ay pare-parehas lang kay reflexive. Examples are this one. Kanira gihapon ang examples ni intensive. So, si myself, himself, ourselves, yourselves, blah, blah, blah. So, mo to siya ang kaparehasan nila. But, ang difference lang ni intensive is that si intensive are used for emphasis. Si reflexive are used for Sama ni si reflexive. Reflexive are used as a direct object. Importante siya, kumbaga, sa sentence. Okay, again, here, herself refers to the queen. Oh, yes. Using an intensive pronoun tells the reader or listener that it's a big deal that the queen gave the award. Oh, yes. It's the queen herself. Siya mismo, ang reyna mismo ang ninghatag sa award sa knight. Okay, the queen gave the knight the award herself. Siya mismo. All right, and then here, because intensive pronouns are used only for emphasis, they can be removed from a sentence without affecting its meaning. But when you remove reflexive pronouns in a sentence, it causes a change in meaning. So here we have an example. In the reflexive, we have the queen bought herself a dog. Si queen ning palit og dog. Siya mismo ang ning palit og dog. Okay? Or si queen ning palit og dog para sa iyahang self. Okay. Here also, intensive, the queen bought the dog herself. Okay, here. The queen bought the dog herself. Si queen mismo ang ningpalit sa dog. Okay, here di ay sa reflexive, the queen bought herself a dog. Gipalitan ni queen iyahang kaugalingon og dog. Okay, I'm sorry. So here in the reflexive, si queen gipalitan niya iyang self og dog. Sa intensive, si queen mismo ang ningpalit sa dog. Okay. Here, oh yes, here in reflexive, the queen bought herself, bought something for herself. Okay. She is both completing and receiving the action in the sentence. So in here, kinsa may nagpalit og dog. So, okay, para kay kinsa man ang dog. That is for the queen. Here, kinsa may nagpalit og dog? Si queen mismo. So the intensive pronoun herself merely emphasizes the fact that the queen and not someone else. Si queen mismo ang ningpalit sa dog. Okay. Here, notice how the meaning changes when we remove the reflexive pronoun. Okay. The queen bought herself a dog. The queen bought a dog. Okay? Atong i-translate ha. The queen bought herself a dog. Ning palit si queen og dog para sa iyahang kaugalingon. For herself. In this sentence, the queen bought a dog. Ning palit si queen og dog. So, wala ta kabalo kung para kay kinsa ang dog nga gipalit ni queen. So, did the queen buy the dog for herself or did she buy it for someone else? So, without the reflexive pronoun, wala ta kabalo kung para kay kinsa ang dog. So, again, when we remove the reflexive, okay, reflexive pronoun in the sentence, the meaning will change. Okay, here again, going back here, if the intensive pronoun here is removed, the meaning does not change. Okay, the queen bought the dog herself. Si queen ang ningpalit sa dog, siya mismo. Si queen ningpalit og dog. So pareha ra sila og meaning. Ang nakalahi lang is in here, si queen ningpalit og dog, siya mismo ang ningpalit. In here naman, si queen ningpalit og dog. So kato siya, giibot lang si herself. So the queen still bought the dog regardless of whether the intensive pronoun is in the sentence or not, because the ang gi-emphasize dire is si queen ning palit og dog. Mao lang to siya. Okay? Wala as a second one, wala na ta kabalo kung kinsa ang ning palit. Basta kay ning palit si queen og dog. So again, remember that reflexive pronouns are used to refer back to the noun. or the subject, the subject. Intensive pronoun are only used for emphasis. Murag, gi-emphasize lang niya nga si Queen mismo ang ningpalit og dog. Okay, that's it. And then in here in the deep pen, we have an activity, two activities actually. So first is, how are mirrors and reflexive pronouns alike? So what are the similarities of mirrors and reflexive pronouns? So you put your answers here. So again, it's in a sentence form. Okay, class, I want you to limit your sentence in with just at least 3 to 5 sentences lang. Okay, I'm okay with just 3 to 5 sentences. And then here, compare and contrast the reflexive and intensive pronoun using this Venn diagram. So we have here the reflexive, and you put the what do you call this, definition bagaha, or si kalahian ni intensive from reflexive, and in here the similarities of reflexive and intensive. So in here, um you can use words or sentences or phrases. So okay, kamo na'y bahala ana, basta kay tulo siya ka buok. Alright, now in here, okay, so I guess it's very self-explanatory for you. So just identify here the underlined word or the underlined pronoun, if it is reflexive or intensive, and then write the answer here on the blank or the space provided. And then in activity 4, still, in here you choose what pronoun suits well the sentence. Okay, so choose from here, choose from here, here, and so on and so forth. So that's 10 items. Sababaw sad 10 items. And for the last part, the transfer, we have here comic strip writing. So, sa instruction, make your own comic strip with a dialogue or conversation using reflexive and intensive pronouns. So again, in your dialogue, make sure to use reflexive and intensive pronouns. So, um, limit your dialogue with 2 characters only. Okay, just like kanilang sila, this one, sila lang duha ga storya. So, duha ka characters with 10 lines each. Each character. So, meaning 10 iyahang storyahonon, 10 sad iyaha. So, it's a total of 20. 20 kaing ani. 20 lines. Okay, total of 20 lines because we have 10 lines for each character. Then use the remaining page or the pages at the back. Okay, so that ends uh, our discussion and instructions for this video. Um, Again, remember that reflexive pronouns are used to refer back to the subject. Intensive are used only for emphasis. Gi-emphasize ra niya ang mga bagay-bagay sa mundo. Okay, alright. So, if after watching this, you still have questions and confusions, just message me, just ask me. I know you can do it because I know that you have the wisdom, okay, given by God. So you can do it. Just learn how to manage your time. Okay, so just message me whenever you have a question. And also, when you message me, please, um, kung pwede ayon ng tungang gabiin, no, mag-message ta. So, just ano lang, just don't worry, I will strive hard to respond to all of your messages. So, ASAP. ASAP. So just um, message me if you have questions. So that's all. Thank you and have a good day. God bless everyone.